When we got locked up in quarantine, we decided, my wife and I, hey, let's make a cocktail. She said, no, let's make it on Facebook in front of our friends. We did that on the first night back in March. And then for 62 nights in a row, we made a new cocktail and did a cocktail show for 62 nights in a row. And we still make the cocktails, except now we just do them on Sunday and Monday because I've become a borderline alcoholic and have gained 50 pounds. And we published a book off of our cocktails. We made the first 62, the history, everything about each cocktail, and we've sold it for charity. We've raised probably close to $15,000. And then we take all that money, we buy brand new coats, and we give the coats to kids. Now, my guess, and I may be wrong, is nobody's probably heard of the Addy cocktail. Now, we have to, I always like to share a little history. I don't want to just make it for you. We got to go back to 1916. In 1916, there is a German bartender. He's from Germany. He's actually living in America. His name is Hugo Enslin. Hugo Enslin actually is known for a couple cocktails and also a cocktail book he wrote. His cocktail book was called Recipes of My Drinks. I didn't say Hugo was a fancy guy. I mean, that isn't the fanciest name, but he self-published a cocktail book, much like me. But anyway, in this cocktail book, and he's known for some fancy drinks. As a matter of fact, one that you may know that he invented is called the Aviation. That is probably one of his most famous cocktails. Now, the problem is the Addy, actually, when he wrote it, it was called the Attention. Fast forward 1930, another gentleman comes along, and his name is Harry Craddock. Harry Craddock is a very famous old bartender right after Prohibition, and he wrote a book. And his book was called the Savoy Cocktail Book. I think it should have been called Recipes of Other People, because basically he took a lot of recipes that other people wrote, and he changed them a little bit and made his own cocktail book. Well, he took the Attention cocktail, turned it into the Addy cocktail, and he just, for lack of a better description, he had better chemistry. He figured out how to mix the same ingredients a little bit better and make a great cocktail. And this cocktail in 1944, it got a name change. This is an odd cocktail because most cocktails, once they're named, they're named. It's done, it's over. This one had a third name. Some people will now call this same cocktail the Arsenic and Old Lace. 2 ounces of gin for each of your cocktails. I'm making 2. I make 2, and here's the rule we have in our speakeasy. 1 for me. That's my 2 ounces. And I always do 1 for Shelby, my wife. Now, what people don't know is that she's not always here when I make 2 drinks, but it makes me on camera appear less of an alcoholic when I always make 2 drinks and always say 1's for Shelby. We're going to pour directly on top of this 2 bar spoons. And there should be something fun that happens. So there's 1. And it's working. So it went from clear to cloudy. So there's your chemistry for the night, folks. In bar lingo, that is the ouzo effect, also known as the louche, which is French for opaque. And for any chemists out there, which I believe there might be some chemists or chemical types out there, spontaneous emulsification. One rule is we never have an ungarnished drink. As we say, we're not animals here. Just because we've been trapped in the house since March, we're not animals yet. I don't know if everybody's familiar with Emergen-C. Emergen-C, it is literally 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C packed into one of these packets. And our very first cocktail was a Quarantini, which was made with vodka, vermouth, and Emergen-C. And since that first cocktail, we have made sure to add a sprinkle of Emergen-C in every cocktail that has come out of this speakeasy in our house. Now, I will tell you, Emergen-C, they're not happy about it. They're not sponsoring the show by any means. And I'm pretty sure there's warnings written on here somewhere that you're not supposed to mix with alcohol. But I'll tell you, we have a COVID-free house and we're going to keep running with it. So the last thing we do is a little sprinkle of Emergen-C. Here's the sad part. It's an orange flavor. It works with almost every cocktail we've ever done. That, folks, is what I call a quarantine Addy. Cheers.
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 Cheers.